When Divergent exploded onto screens in 2014, it promised to be the next big young adult phenomenon. With its dystopian world of factions and rebellion, it introduced audiences to a fresh group of rising stars, many of whom would go on to redefine their careers long after the franchise faded. From breakout roles to reinvention, controversy, and critical acclaim, the cast's journeys since Divergent have been anything but predictable. Here's a deep dive into where they were then, and where they are now. Glowing stars Shailene Woodley, Tris Pryor, from young icon to serious actress. Then, the heart of Divergent. As Beatrice, Tris Pryor, Woodley became the emotional anchor of the series. She portrayed a young woman discovering her identity in a rigid, divided society, balancing vulnerability with strength. At the time, Woodley was already gaining recognition from films like The Descendants and The Spectacular Now, but Divergent pushed her into global stardom. She carried the trilogy, Insurgent and Allegiant, even as the franchise struggled critically toward its end. When plans shifted to finish the story as a TV movie, Woodley declined to return, marking a clear break from the role that made her famous. Now, prestige projects and personal evolution. Post-Divergent, Woodley made a deliberate shift toward more grounded and emotionally complex work. Her standout performance in Big Little Lies alongside Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon earned her critical acclaim and awards attention. She also embraced independent films, environmental activism, and roles that reflect her personal values. Rather than chasing blockbuster fame, Woodley has chosen a more selective and meaningful career path. Her personal life, especially her high-profile relationship with Aaron Rodgers, kept her in the spotlight, but she has remained focused on authenticity over image. Right Finger Then vs. Now, from franchise heroine to respected, introspective performer with a strong voice beyond Hollywood. Fire Theo James 4, from heartthrob to critical darling. Then, the brooding leader. Theo James captured hearts as Tobias 4, Eden, the fearless dauntless instructor with a mysterious past. His chemistry with Woodley was central to the franchise's appeal, and he quickly became a global heartthrob. However, being tied to a major franchise came with challenges, particularly the risk of being typecast as an action hero. Now, reinvention through prestige TV. After Divergent, James stepped away from blockbuster roles and focused on more nuanced projects. His performance in The White Lotus showcased a completely different side of his talent, complex, flawed, and sharply comedic. He later took the lead in The Gentleman, proving his range and solidifying his place in high-quality television drama. Beyond acting, James has also moved into producing, building a long-term career behind the camera. Right Finger Then vs. Now, from young action star to critically acclaimed actor with creative control. Clapperboard Miles Teller Peter, the unexpected breakout star. Then, the antagonist. Miles Teller's portrayal of Peter brought intensity and unpredictability to Divergent. Even before the franchise, he was gaining attention for indie films, but this role introduced him to a wider audience. Now, box office powerhouse. Teller's career skyrocketed with roles in major films, most notably Top Gun, Maverick, where he starred alongside Tom Cruise. The film became a massive global success and cemented his status as a leading man. He has continued to balance blockbuster roles with more character-driven performances, making him one of the most versatile actors of his generation. Right Finger Then vs. Now, from supporting villain to one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Face Mask Ansel Elgort Caleb Pryor Talent Meets Turbulence. Then, The Golden Boy. Elgort played Caleb Pryor, Tris' intelligent but conflicted brother. At the same time, he was rising fast thanks to The Fault in Our Stars, where he starred opposite Woodley. Now, career highs and challenges. Elgort starred in West Side Story and led the crime drama Tokyo Vice, showing his range as an actor. However, his career has also faced scrutiny due to personal controversies, which have impacted his public image. Right Finger Then vs. Now, still talented and active, but navigating a more complicated path in the spotlight. Glowing star Zoe Kravitz Christina, from supporting role to global icon. Then, the loyal friend. Kravitz played Christina, Tris' brave and outspoken friend. While her role in Divergent was important, it was just one step in her larger career journey. Now, a cultural force. Kravitz has since become one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars, taking on major roles like the Batman and earning acclaim for her work in Big Little Lies. She has also stepped behind the camera, making her directorial debut and expanding her influence in the industry. Right Finger Then vs. Now, from ensemble player to multi-talented star and creative force. Clapperboard Kate Winslet Janine Matthews, a legend continues. Then, the calculated villain. Already an Academy Award-winning actress, Winslet brought depth and authority to the role of Janine Matthews, the cold and calculating erudite leader. Now, still dominating, Winslet continued her streak of powerful performances with projects like Mare of Easttown, earning critical acclaim and awards recognition. She remains one of the most respected actors in the industry, constantly evolving and taking on challenging roles. Right Finger Then vs. Now, a powerhouse before, during, and after Divergent. Movie camera supporting cast. Where are they now? The Divergent series also featured a strong supporting cast that has continued to thrive. Jai Courtney moved into major action franchises and steady film roles. Maggie Q led TV series and remained a staple in action projects. Tony Goldwyn expanded into directing and high-profile television. Ashley Judd focused on activism and later returned to acting. Ray Stevenson continued appearing in major productions before his passing in 2023. Clapperboard The rise and fall of a franchise. The Divergent series started strong but lost momentum over time. The third film, Allegiant, underperformed at the box office, leading to the cancellation of the final installment. Plans to conclude the story with a TV film fell apart when key cast members declined to return. As a result, the franchise ended without a proper conclusion, something fans still talk about today. Light bulb final thoughts. A legacy beyond the screen. While Divergent didn't achieve the lasting dominance of other YA franchises, its true legacy lies in the careers it launched. Shailene Woodley evolved into a critically respected actress. Theo James reinvented himself through prestige television. Miles Teller became a major Hollywood force. Zoe Kravitz rose to global superstardom. What began as a story about identity and rebellion ultimately became a launching pad for some of the industry's most compelling talents. And in a way, that's the most fitting ending of all, because just like their characters, the cast didn't stay confined to one faction. They evolved, adapted, and forged entirely new paths.